Hi, folks. Imagine, if you will, a reality in which people elect a known criminal, not just any criminal, but one who's well known, duplicitous, lying, vengeful, savage, a thug, a common thug. One who has used his influence, his affluence, his ability to bully to avoid any and all accountability. Imagine that person was elected to public office. Just imagine that. Imagine how insane that is. Now, of course, the person that I am referring to is none other than Wilson Fisk, a.k.a. the Kingpin. Those of you who are not fans of comic books may not be familiar with Wilson Fisk. I, however, who have been an avid comic book fan for my entire life since I was yay big, since I was a wee child, have been reading comic books and know Wilson Fisk very well. I know that he is the enemy of Spider-Man, and more recently and more frequently, the enemy of Daredevil. Daredevil is a comic book hero who is actually blind, but he has heightened senses. He and the Kingpin have gone at it head to head quite often. My point is, about 12 or more years ago, the storyline was introduced where Wilson Fisk was actually elected the mayor of New York City. And I thought, that's insane. I said, that's stupid. I was upset with that storyline. This happened long before anybody even thought that Donald Trump would even consider running for any office. I thought that is too absurd to be a real storyline. Now, keep in mind, I'm a guy who likes reading comic books about, a guy who turns into a big, massive, green 10-foot behemoth when he's angry. I like reading comic books about a guy who has a metal skeleton and claws that pop out, and he heals whenever he's injured. Comic books about a guy who flies and he's bulletproof. Another guy who crawls walls and can shoot webs. All that stuff, and the notion that a known criminal would be elected just as mayor of New York City. We're not even talking about the country. There was another idiotic storyline that Norman Osborn, also known as the Green Goblin, was elected president of the United States. I'm like, you guys have lost the plot. You guys are insane. Lo and behold, it came to fruition. It actually happened. It boggled my mind. And so today I am going to set, there's the issue where Norman Osborn was elected president of the United States. Today I'm going to set out to prove to you why Donald Trump, convicted felon, is worse than one of the worst criminals in Marvel Comics history, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. In addition to other topics we will discuss as well. We're going to get into it. Are you ready? I am. Let's go. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. And I also want to say happy Women's History Month. I did not get a chance to say that last Friday because did not have an episode last Friday because it was postponed so that I could appear on the Roland Martin Unfiltered show, which was a great experience. I do have a homework assignment to do. I have to immerse myself into the music of Angie Stone because she had passed away. And I didn't know that it was going to be a tribute to Miss Angie Stone. So I do look forward to immersing myself in that music. And I also want to say a get well soon to our good friend Bernadette, who is under the weather. She, I believe, has the flu. So Bernadette, if you're out there, make sure you drink plenty of liquids, have some chicken soup. Most important, rest your body. And I hope you get well soon. And our thoughts and prayers will be with you. Let me see who's at the top here. Of course, friend Zelda is there at the top. Welcome, Zelda. We got Joanne Kennedy right behind her. Teacher Lori G is here too. Meredith Powell is here. Claudia, Fox Hill Dreams. Judith Robbins. Did I say Meredith Powell? Meredith Powell is here. Valerie G. Joanne Suman. Suman, is that right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. She is a blue dot in her part of Pennsylvania. Diane London is here, folks. Candace GT is here. Monique Lee. Of course, once again, Bernadette, feel better, my friend. Michelle Teresa is here. Eddie G is back in the heezy. Good to see you, my friend. Mama AG is here. Watcher Soko. Sandra from Paramount, California is here. Lucy L. Taboo Forte is here. Where's Cindy C? I don't see her anywhere. She's got to be here soon. Blue Lady is here. Joe McCurdy. Oh, it's a great question. This is a great question, actually, Joe. Thank you for this. Is Elon Lex Luthor? No. And I'll tell you why. Lex Luthor is one of the smartest people in either DC or Marvel, in either comic book, either comic universe. He is evil, but Elon is like stupid. Lex Luthor is like an inventor. He like invents his own shit. Elon just kind of coasts on other people's contributions. But good one. He does have the resources of a Lex Luthor, but he doesn't have the intellect. But thank you for offering that. That's a good one. Judith Robbins is here. Tracy M, a.k.a. Nurse Mitch, is in the house. Samantha Hawkins is here. Tina Bradford is here. Joanne Kennedy is here. Simon Metcalf from across the pond. Did I say Tina Bradford? Tina Bradford's here. There's Cindy C. No notification. I don't believe it. Melissa McQueen is here. How do you do, Melissa McQueen? Tracy Ann is here. T-Pain. Really? Wait, what? Is T-Pain here? Somebody said T-Pain here. Let me find out my buddy T-Pain is here. He's awesome. Cindy Sue is here. Lucy L. Okay, guys, let's get started. I am behind schedule here. So let's do... Totally forgot. Let's do that thing. Stories of the day.
Stories of the day.
So our main graphic is for the day is Rep. Al Green ejected Trump's insults backfire. I am having some fun getting myself used to making the exaggerated facial expressions for these thumbnails, these YouTube thumbnails, because apparently, that's what the YouTube kids do. They make these faces that make you stop and like, hey, why has he got that look on his face? So anyway, let's see if that helps the algorithm any. And Candace, I don't disagree with you. I'm right there with you. She is so pissed at the 10 Dems. I'm pissed at them too. We'll get into that in a minute. This thing happened last Friday. This is another thing that happened Friday that we didn't get to talk about. It was the debacle in the Oval Office, in which it was an ambush when Donald Trump and JD Couchfucker Vance ambushed President Zelensky. While all his crime was that he's looking to defend his country and asked the United States, we used to be good guys, asked us for help. Tariffs is the most beautiful word ever invented. He loves it so much that he doesn't even know when to wield it, how to wield it, when to put it on, when to take it off. He's making an ass of himself, and Justin Trudeau and Sheila. Not Sheila. What's her first name? Scheinbaum. Claudia Scheinbaum are having a good laugh as his tariffs go boom in his own face. And last but not least, Donald Trump had his first joint session to Congress. It didn't count, technically did not count as a State of the Union, even though it looked and felt like one. It was not a State of the Union because you have to be a president for 2 consecutive years, I believe, in order to have a State of the Union. So that's that. Please, if this is your first time here, you're just showing up, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. The subscribe will make sure, hit the little bell icon so you get a notification. I don't know if you did that, Cindy C. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you get a notification when these new episodes drop. And hit the thumbs up. It does help the algorithm as much as me making these crazy faces for the thumbnail. Let's see, what else do we have? This week I was quite pleased with this Substack. It was not as dense. Usually my articles are anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes long. Like it takes 5 or 8 minutes to read them. And so, I enjoy doing that, but I don't know necessarily if my readers like it when it takes that long to read an article. So this week I scaled back a little bit, and the topic is Screw Civility. Trump's a felon, not a president. Dems need to stop playing nice and start winning. Melissa McQueen, my friend, look at you. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you for that. And I love this picture here with Melanie Stansberry. She is a new up and coming. I think, I don't remember from last year or 2 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was she just elected? Because all of a sudden I'm seeing her everywhere, and I really I like how she represents. And she's holding a sign that says, "This is not normal." And Candace, that is very nice of you to say you like my writing style. I like it too. I think I will stick with it. Thank you for saying that. That's nice of you. So as we all know, Friday night is pizza and movie night. And on pizza and movie night, I usually do a review of a show or a movie or both, usually both. This week, I want to focus on this new show. It's called Daredevil Born Again. Now, as I explained, I am a comic book fanatic. I've been reading them since I was probably 5, I think. 5 years old, I was reading Richie Rich comics and Archie comics and Lil Hot, the Little Devil. I don't even remember the name of those comic books, but yeah. And so now I'm into Marvel and the Daredevil and Spidey and all that stuff. This was originally a show that was on Netflix, and it was quite violent. It was very violent. And Matthew Murdock is the main character. He is a religious guy. He's a Catholic. His father was a boxer. As a child, he had a noble heart, and he ran and pushed an old person out of the way from a truck that was careening out of control. And unfortunately, this truck was carrying a bunch of chemicals in it. And these chemicals got into little Matthew Murdock's eyes and blinded him, made him blind for life. That was it. But that cloud had a silver lining, and not only did it blind him, but it gave him heightened senses beyond belief. Like, he could hear a mouse farting from like 2 blocks away. He can smell what that mouse had to eat for breakfast from the same distance. All of his senses are heightened, including his agility. He has, I think he has an enhanced healing that might have more to do with the meditation practices he uses. And he has kind of like a radar sense, almost like the way bats have. He uses his powers and abilities for good, to solve crimes, and to fight bad guys. He is also a lawyer. That's his day job. He is a defense attorney. He often defends people who can't afford a real attorney. So sometimes his payment will be like, you have some chickens. Okay, give me those chickens, because we know how expensive eggs are nowadays. Eggs are very expensive. And let me just back up real quick here, because I forgot that I had a page here. In one episode of Daredevil fighting Kingpin, he's saying, no more superheroes. No more superheroes. Does that sound familiar? Because I know this Trump administration is doing everything it can to eliminate whistleblowers, to eliminate anyone, independent investigators, anyone who could possibly get him busted, get him in trouble. So he, as you can see from the picture here, he is a rather imposing figure. He's massive in the comic books. He's as tall as he is wide. He's probably, I don't know, it's probably about 6 feet wide. And I'd have to guess he's probably 7.5 feet tall. He's enormous. So he's very, very intimidating. Not as much like Trump. Trump, I don't think is an intimidating figure. I know he's around 6 feet. I know he's, from what I've been told, he stinks. He smells like a diaper rotting in the summer sun. And probably that mixed with spray tan. Oh, look at this. Chris Passeri. Thank you for this. Kingpin is 6'7", 450 pounds. Used to be a fat kid. I love you guys. You guys give me life when you when you assist in the show. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So he also goes through some stuff in the comic books and in the show. They kind of try to make him a sympathetic character. He's got his own issues. Like, as a kid, he was abused badly by his father. or I don't know if his father or stepfather. He was abused to the point where the kid had no choice but to finally lash back at his father, and he ended up killing his father. And I guess that unlocked something in him and set him off down a certain path. I don't know that that's what happened with Donald Trump. I know that Trump, it's been said, was constantly trying to earn his father's favor, his father's approval. He never got that. That sounds a lot like how he's treating Don Jr. and Eric. So that's interesting. It's an interesting comparison, but I think that's probably where the similarities cease, aside from the fact that they are both convicted felons. They are both convicted felons. And I believe Kingpin is a murderer. Donald Trump, he's a fucking asshole, but I don't think he's a murderer yet. But I think the main thing about the Kingpin that had always struck me was that he is so massive. It's a wonder that he is ever beaten. He's just very, very intimidating and imposing. But he, in fact, has been beaten by Daredevil, who is a third his size, but has incredible fighting skills and agility and prowess. And I highly recommend you check out the show, Daredevil Born Again. And it opens up with Kingpin on the right. He is running for office. It's not much of a spoiler alert to say that he does win the election, because that's what the whole show is based off of. And Daredevil has experienced a tragedy that has caused him to hang up his devil horns for a bit before he is ultimately thrust back into the superhero game. It is a compelling show. It's great action, fantastic writing, fantastic acting, directing, all of that stuff. Highly recommend. I can't recommend it highly enough. Check it out when you get a chance. All right, let's keep it moving. The first thing I want to talk about is Donald Trump is taking some L's. He's been taking some L's this week, and that's delicious to me. Every time Donald Trump takes an L, an angel gets his wings. So there have been a lot of angels getting their wings this week. One is from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court just issued well, first, let me just tell you, this is a scene from the joint address the other day where he can audibly be heard thanking Chief Justice John Roberts, saying something to the effect of, "Thank you very much. I won't forget." And I think he was saying he won't forget, John Roberts' support on something else. But I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, we found out that the Supreme Court ruled against Donald Trump in his attempt to stiff U.S. aid, the $2 billion that they were owed. They had those funds frozen, and the Supreme Court ruled you have to unfreeze them. And yeah, he did thank Roberts. Yeah, you have to unfreeze those funds and make them accessible to USAID. That's a big L for Trump, especially considering the fact that, he thought he had the Supreme Court locked up. The fact that he appointed 3 people on the Supreme Court meant that he thought that all 3 of them should be ruling in his favor no matter what. Divided Supreme Court rejects Trump bid to freeze nearly $2 billion in foreign aid. Well, in this particular decision, Amy Coney Barrett sided with, sided with the 3 liberal justices on the court, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan. Also sided with Chief Justice Roberts, who Trump just thanked the other night. Now, who is MAGA upset with? Of course, they're upset with Amy Coney Barrett because she's a woman, and well, God forbid you get angry at a white male because they can't possibly be DEI, but they accused Amy Coney Barrett of being a DEI hire. Here's on the left, there's Salty Girl saying Amy Coney Barrett was a DEI hire. This is an excellent example of why women should be nowhere near these positions of power within our government. Imagine saying that in the year 2025. It boggles the mind. It boggles the mind because you have evidence right in front of your stupid faces showing that not only are women, in my life, I've had, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 8 women supervisors, bosses, etc. And they've always been excellent. They're great communicators. That it's a false narrative that women are too emotional to lead. That is an absolute false narrative, especially when you look at Donald Trump, who is having emotional breakdowns, outbursts every day. Anyway, Laura Loomer there on the right says Amy Coney Barrett was a DEI appointee. So MAGA's not happy. And again, if Donald Trump takes an L, an angel gets his wings. If MAGA is upset about that L, that same angel gets an erection. So there you have it. Another L Donald Trump is taking is the stock market. Many of you, wait, sorry, I've almost forgot. This is important. Before I move on here, there's some very interesting video that was captured on the night of the joint session. And I have to share that with you because it's rather remarkable. Let's check this out. Look at the expression on Amy Coney Barrett's face. This was not lost on anyone. Look at the contempt. Look at that. She could barely stomach looking at him. Let's look at it again. Look at it. Look at it. Disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. One more time. Look at that. Whew. Damn. If anybody ever looks at you, if anybody ever makes that expression when they're looking at you, you better examine your life choices. That's too good. Oh my God. Joanne Kennedy said maybe his diaper was full up. Oh my goodness. It's too good. All right. So he's taking L's in the stock market. This is a guy who, first of all, he said that if Kamala Harris was elected, that the stock market was going to crash. Well, she wasn't elected, so we'll never know. But he was elected, and the stock market, I don't know, do you call it a crash when you have 2 days, 3 days in a row of, combined of losses, 500 points per day? That's a lot. That's a lot. Trump Reaper says Wall Street is crashing like a Cybertruck. Oh, that is a good one. That one has several layers. Thank you, Trump Reaper. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And there on the right side of the screen, it says my tariffs did that. See, the markets, they don't like unpredictability. They don't like that. They like predictability. They like stability. And Donald Trump is anything but stable. I don't know what the markets were thinking by getting behind Donald Trump, thinking that he is going to be better for business because he's a businessman. He's not a businessman. He's a buffoon. My friend Zelda. Zelda, thank you so much. You are such a wonderful person. I do greatly appreciate you. I'm not just saying that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Words cannot even express how grateful I am for your support of this show. It's tremendous. Thank you so much. He is a guy who has gone, I've said this before and I'll say it again until I don't feel like saying it anymore, but he's been bankrupt 6 times. And several of those bankruptcies were from casinos. Like, who bankrupts a casino? A casino! The house always wins. It's insane. And grown people, look at this clown, this jackass who, before the election, many times revealed that he thinks that countries pay the tariffs. A 5th grader could tell you, and there's no slight on a 5th grader. I'm just saying, 5th grader could tell you customers pay the tariffs. Boggles the mind that nobody can break through and inform. It was 4 casinos? Wow. Melissa McQueen says it was 4 casinos. That's news to me. That is insane. So yeah. And another time he said he hopes, I'll never forget this. This was when Joe Biden was still running. He said he hopes that the market crashes while Biden is still in office because he doesn't want to be like Herbert Hoover. I'll never forget that because it was a guy who was formerly a president of the United States rooting for the United States to suffer a Herbert Hoover Great Depression-like crash. That's awful. That is awful, awful, awful. Oh, interesting. Press secretary's dad owns Levitt Motors in New Hampshire. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was another thing, too, with the tariffs. We'll get to the tariffs in a minute. Let's talk about Bitcoin and crypto for a minute, because I am not a crypto guy at all. I have, however, been curious about it. I've been curious because, I missed those big stock market booms. I didn't get on board with Apple when Apple was just a seed, or with Amazon when Amazon, was nothing, would cost like pennies to buy a stock. I didn't get on board with Google or, any of those other companies that if you had gotten in early, you'd be a fucking millionaire by now. I didn't get on board. I missed those. I missed out on those. And then crypto came along. I remember when crypto came along because my buddy Mike, former coworker, good friend, nice guy, he was telling me about crypto, and this had to be in 2010. It was early. Crypto was probably a quarter. Like Bitcoin was probably a quarter back then or something. It was like very affordable. And I didn't want anything to do with it because all I knew about Bitcoin was that, or cryptocurrency, was that was what criminals were using to buy drugs online. And, I was still relatively young in my recovery, my recovery from addiction. 2010, I was clean 7 years. So I didn't want anything to do with anything even adjacent to drugs. What do you mean? People use this to buy drugs? No, I don't want it. Um, so I sidestepped. I didn't even think twice about it. Had I put $100 down or $1,000, if I had invested that kind of money in Bitcoin back then, I'd be a millionaire. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd be on a super yacht somewhere. Try to keep it real. Now maybe I would be. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I would have been filthy rich by now. So I say all that to say that it is kind of shocking that, before the election, a lot of people were making a big deal out of Trump being like the first crypto president. They were saying that when he gets into office, he's going to pave the way for crypto, and crypto's going to boom, and he's going to start a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and all this great stuff is going to happen. I was like, wow, that's interesting. But what do I know? I barely understand what the hell. Here's what I understand about Bitcoin is that it's a form of digital currency that, it's volatile. The price doesn't stay put anywhere. So, one day it's worth this much, another day it's worth that much. It's not like gold, for instance. Gold has, but gold also kind of has like a speculative value, I suppose, but it's more stable. Anyway, I know that shortly after the election, the value of Bitcoin was somewhere around $105,000, $108,000. Let's take a look at what it is now. Up there at the top there, Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin is $87,000. So it's lost almost $20,000 in value since Trump has been in office. Ethereum was somewhere over $3,000. It's now down to $2,100. All these other ones, XRP, I'm familiar with that. XRP, it says it's $2.45 for each one. And that had gone as high as, I think, $3.80. And so forth and so on and on and on and on it goes. These are things that, if this guy was the savior of Bitcoin that he was supposed to be, these things should have been going through the roof. Right? It's going the wrong direction. It's going down. Anyway, speaking of going down, look up in the sky. It's shrapnel. It's fireworks. No, it's the rapid, unscheduled disassembly of another SpaceX rocket from Elon Musk. Another one. Yet another one. So just if you're keeping score at home, if there aren't, oh shit, there it is on my TV too. If there aren't planes falling out of the sky, there are SpaceX rockets falling out of the sky. This is the guy that, Donald Trump thinks is such a fucking genius. He's not a genius. He's a fucking loser. Denise says, huge crypto plant being built here out west. Bad, pisses me off. Excuse me. The other thing I understand about crypto is that it costs, not that it costs money. I think it costs energy, right? It requires energy to mine those things. I don't understand the whole premise of mining this stuff. Apparently, like, those coins, they solve equations or something. And then it requires like I don't know, certain amount of computers to solve these things and create. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Yeah. So more shit falling from the sky, more value falling from the sky. If you ask me, everything that Elon is involved with is some kind of a scam. You know, wasn't Elon one of the guys promoting that Doge? The name of his government efficiency thing, which they won't even say. They won't officially say he is the head of Doge. How sketchy is that? Who's the head of Doge? Well, is it Elon? Is Elon the head of Doge? No, not exactly. Well, what is it exactly? Use your words. Is he or isn't he? Is this woman over here? What does Elon have to do with it? Doge was his fucking idea. Doge is a crypto coin based off of some dog. Doge.
Well, let's see. How about Department of Government Efficiency?
And they're anything but efficient. They're firing people that don't need to be fired. They're firing nuclear weapons experts. They're firing people who deal with bird flu. They're firing FAA workers. They're firing right now. They're trying to fire tens of thousands of people who work for the VA. Are you fucking kidding me? You have to go for the veterans? And what are you looking to save? You're not getting that $2 trillion out of firing a bunch of veterans. You're not going to find it there. Let's see. So let's talk about these tariffs, because these tariffs are not going to are not the answer either. Tariffs are the best thing that's ever happened. It's wonderful. March 4th, Donald Trump officially imposed, excuse me, a 25% tax on products from Canada and Mexico, and an additional 10% tariff on goods from China. Now, here's the crazy thing about our trade situation is that Donald Trump was bitching about whoever signed this trade agreement needs to have their head examined. Who signed it? You did. You signed that USMCA deal. That's crazy. It's crazy that everybody didn't fucking jump on that comment right there. But Mr. President, you just said whoever signed this is out of their mind, and you're the one who signed it. It's really disappointing how milquetoast our reporters are. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. So he March 4th, the tariffs are on, and then after speaking with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, I have agreed that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. I did this as an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum. When is the last time any of you have known Donald Trump to be respectful of and accommodating for a woman in power, an intelligent, powerful, confident woman? When have you ever known him to show any deference to those women? Never. He doesn't do it. And he has no respect for Mexican people in general. So this is just bizarre. Jenny Rayner, milquetoast is one word, and it's MILQUETOAST, and it means weak, weak sauce. That's what milquetoast means. In answer to your question. Our relationship has been a very good one, and we are working hard together on the border, both in terms of stopping illegal aliens and from entering the United States, and likewise stopping fentanyl. It is a myth. It is bullshit that he is concernicus about stopping fentanyl, right? The reason he's doing these tariffs is for fentanyl because, let's say Mexico is stopping thousands of pounds of fentanyl at the border. Good. That's really good. Canada, 46 pounds. That's it. You could fit that shit in a backpack. you could fit it in a backpack. That's how much fentanyl is coming through the border of Canada. So what's your excuse there? What are you trying to do with these tariffs with Canada? It's a lot of big talk, a lot of, antagonistic talk with our neighbors to the north. I don't know. Canadian people are so nice. They're so polite. They're so fucking polite. How do you get them? The Canadians have been booing our players. Well, they're not. They explained. Justin Trudeau explained, we're not booing your players. We're booing the policies of your country, which are designed to hurt us. Yeah, but Canadians are real cool people. To be such a dickhead to make an enemy out of Canadians, it's just an assy thing to do. It's totally unnecessary. And no, they are not ever going to be. Joe McCurdy said Canadians gave us Ryan Reynolds. That's a good point. I like Ryan Reynolds. They gave us a lot of good actors and comedians. I like Mike Myers. Mike Myers was on Saturday Night Live the other day, and I forget what his T-shirt said. It was something about Canada. Sometimes I refer to Canada as Canada. Fun fact. And he did something with his elbow, like elbows up. That means something. If you guys know what that means, please inform me because I didn't have a chance to Google that yet. Anyway, so the tariffs are off with both Canada, or as I sometimes call it, Canada, and Mexico. And I just came across this meme the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. I think Tristan Snell did this. You're fired. Wait, oops, you're rehired. All funds are frozen. Oof, that was unpopular. Okay, well, we'll rescind it for now. Tariffs. Oh, wait, no, not for a month. Tariffs again. Ouch, that stock market response. Okay, maybe not for cars, not for the next month. Okay. Yeah. He's just, herky-jerky approach to trade policy, to tariffs. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. It is insane that these tariffs are on again and off again because he's sending the message. He's sending a clear message that if you just wait him out, the stock market will tell him what to do. And the stock market, if they didn't like it today, if they didn't like it yesterday, they're not going to like it a month from now. He's like postponing it for a month, thinking that after a month, they're going to love tariffs even better a month from now. No, they're not. And, it's another day, another brain fart from Trump. So he thinks leaving NATO would be a good idea. Mm-hmm. The other day, he's in the Oval Office and he says, you think if we were in trouble, you think those other countries, those NATO countries would come to our defense? You like to think so, but I don't think so. Like, I'm astounded that Republican senators and Congress people are not like, huddling up and saying, we got to get him out because he's lost his mind. NATO? The one and only time, Article 5 is the thing that says if a member nation is under attack and they invoke Article 5, that means we all come and jump in and save their ass. Well, the one and only time Article 5 was invoked was the United States after 9/11, and all of our friends came to that party and kicked ass. They did, side by side. They did that. Joanne Suman. Tell me, Joanne, am I pronouncing your last name correctly? Suman, is that correct? It looks correct to me. Oh, wait, you had something else you said. Oh, it was Joanne Kennedy. Joanne Kennedy said he is going to give us to Russia. I've never seen anybody more not complacent is not the right word, more of a willing tool, a willing asset. It's not right. Joanne, write out phonetically how to pronounce your last name for me, please. Okay. Oh, like human. Joanne Suman. Thank you. That's good. It's a good one. Joanne Suman. Thank you. Subservient. Yeah, that's a good one. Watch yourself go. Thank you. Complicit is also very good. These are good adjectives. I appreciate you guys. All right. And yeah, he is a tool indeed. So is he going to leave NATO? It's possible because that's on Russia's checklist. That's what they want. Let's talk about this insane scene from, and I'm not going to, I'm sure you've all seen, talk show after talk show after talk show going over this. But here, my first thought, like this thing went off the rails when J.D. Vance opened his stupid ass mouth and said, you didn't even say thank you. You should say thank you. Why didn't you say thank you? You should be thanking us because we're so great and we're not giving you any security guarantees, but at least we're going to take your earth minerals, your valuable earth minerals. The least you could do is say thank you for letting you sit next to Mr. Dirty Diapers. The least you could do. I saw a clip where I think he said he's on the record for saying thank you 33 times. And no, you, J.D. Vance, should not be saying shit. You should be staying quiet while the big boys are talking. But the reason that he opened up his mouth was because that was a planned ambush. That was planned. There's no way he just decided to open his mouth and go off script in such a high stakes meeting with all the cameras there. You want to air this shit out here? Have a cantankerous argument? And this was an argument. I couldn't believe it triggered me when Trump was yelling in this dude's face and then putting his hand on him. That bothered me. That bothered me so much. The very idea that he continues to tell this lie that we gave Ukraine $350 billion. I don't know why it's stuck in his brain. It's wrong. It's like dead wrong. It's flat wrong, flat out wrong. We did not give them $350 billion. We gave them something like $119 billion. In fact, Europe ended up giving him more than we did. But who the hell cares? At the end of the day, it's a fraction of our budget. It's a fraction of our defense budget. We're not in any other wars. We don't even have boots in the ground in Ukraine, for crying out loud. They're doing our heavy lifting. And I apologize for not having. There was a clip out there in which President Zelensky says, kind of under his breath, in Ukrainian, he calls JD Vance a little bitch. Sorry, I don't have that, but trust me, bro. Take my word for it. It's out there. And last but not least, let's discuss this. It's not State of the Union, this joint address. Now, I didn't want to watch this. I feel like a responsibility to do it because I know that a lot of people are staying away because people are kind of, like his voice. His voice is hard to deal with. So I feel like some of us, who have a bigger platform have to kind of watch these things and see what happens and make sure that it is recorded the way it needs to be recorded. And, we're on record saying this fucking shit is crazy because the right wing, they have their guys that are on Twitter and they're on the different social medias saying, it was brilliant. It was amazing. Oh, the Democrats were stupid. Blah, 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 blah. I posted a tweet the other day on the day of this speech, basically guessing, predicting what Donald Trump was going to do. And all of my guesses were spot on, I think, with the exception of, I don't think he actually mentioned President Obama by name. So I think that one, that prediction I had wrong, but I did predict. Where is it here? Come on, hang on. It's right here. It's right here somewhere. Here we go. Prediction for Trump's speech tonight. He will tell more than 100 lies. I don't have the tally, but I'm sure it was up there. Blame President Biden for things. Blame President Obama for things. That was not there. Make a bunch of small, petty disses. Praise Vladimir Putin. Praise President Musk. Insult President Zelensky. Say the Ukraine war would not have happened if he were president. Troll half or more of the American people. Falsely insist he has a mandate. Falsely insist he has the best poll numbers. Falsely claim that we sent $350 billion to Ukraine. Falsely claim that Doge saved hundreds of billions of dollars. Not accept responsibility for anything. And that, my friends, is basically what his speech consisted of. It irked me to no end that almost every other sentence was dedicated to some kind of slam on President Biden. President Biden was extremely gracious to him, more so than he should have been, frankly. I was watching something the other night. I was watching something in which a guy, it was Invincible. It's a cartoon I watched, Invincible. And the bad guy, Invincible had him. He had him by his throat. This bad guy had sent, dozens of evil people to destroy Earth. And finally, after pretty much neutralizing the threat, he had the bad guy by his throat. And I was yelling at the screen, kill him. It's like, kill him. And he didn't. And then the bad guy got away. And I was like, you know what? That shit is going to come back to bite us. Now, I'm not saying that should have been done with Trump. No, I'm saying that it's time for Democrats to stand up and fight this guy and not be concernicus about being polite, not be concernicus about decorum. Decorum is dead. Decorum is dead when this jackass, Donald Trump, called Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, he referred to her as Pocahontas. during this meeting. Decorum was dead when he gestured to the Democrats sitting in the audience and called them all radical, left-wing nut jobs or something to that effect. They should have all just gotten up and left. Frankly, they should have gotten up and left when my man, Representative Al Green, stood and pointed his cane at Donald Trump and said, "You do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid." He's standing up and speaking for the people. The time for decorum is past. Nobody was concerned about decorum when Marjorie Taylor Greene stood up not once, not twice, but 3 times in 3 separate states of the union and booed and made a big ass of herself. Her and what the hell is her name? Lauren Boebert. Neither of them got censured. But just yesterday, 10 Democrats voted along with every single Republican to censure Al Green. Why? Why? What do we have to gain by you siding with Republicans to censure your own colleague? Stop that shit. Stop it. It's stupid. It serves no purpose. We need to be like this. We need to be in lockstep. Because the only way you take down a bully is not all spread out. It's not being all every man for himself, every woman for herself. You have to come together as one to beat that bully. Here's the part of here's the part of the evening that under normal circumstances, this should have been a high point. It should have been a bipartisan part of the speech. So this little young man here he goes by the nickname of DJ, and DJ is a cancer survivor. I have a soft spot in my heart for cancer survivors. I lost my mom to cancer, my grandmother to cancer, my best friend in the world lost him. Jesus Christ, he wasn't even 30 yet. He was like 26. He died of leukemia. Everybody out there has someone that they know and love who has been affected by cancer. So, we can all gel on that level. But they used this poor boy, Shell Teresa. They used that poor boy. They used this poor boy as a political prop. That's what I didn't like. Why didn't I like it? Because Republicans, by way of Elon Musk's Doge, have cut cancer research funding. The very same cancer research funding that would have that probably helped save DJ's life. Yeah, there, Meredith Powell saying, "I'm sure DJ is thrilled that Doge is defunding cancer research. I bet you he doesn't know. I bet you he doesn't know." Because I saw a clip, and I'm not going to play it for you because I don't want any vitriol directed at DJ. He's a kid. At the end of the day, he's a kid. His father should be teaching him better. His father's probably just happy as all hell that his little boy is still alive, right? Doesn't care about politics. Maybe he's happy that his son got a spot in the spotlight. Maybe this opportunity opens up something for him 10, 15 years down the road. Maybe he gets a gig with the Secret Service. Who knows? Or with the FBI. You never know. Could be a great thing, but I don't like that he was being used in that cynical way when the very same administration is shamelessly cutting cancer research funding. It's insane. It's insane to me. The signs. Under normal circumstances, these signs would have been an effective rebuke. In fact, at one point, Trump was upset. He was upset that he couldn't get Democrats to smile and stand and clap for him. I couldn't believe it, because he was spending, like I said, every other sentence dissing President Biden and dissing Democrats. And he thought that, he deserved some applause for that. Fuck you, you jackass. Here's his
people from mental institutions and insane asylums were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy, or to make them stand, or smile, or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or enact the answers to the greatest economy.
He actually said that with his horrendous record on COVID, that he could come up with a cure to a disease that could wipe out nations. He actually said that with his horrible track record on COVID.
In history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded, and these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times and people.
Yeah, no. You're spending half the night shit canning us and dissing us. Fuck you, you dickhead. And he doesn't have to. That's the thing. If you have accomplishments, if you have things you are proud of, you don't need to disrespect somebody every time you bring those things up. President Biden didn't do that either. In fact, I'm going to show you. This is how a real president, a real leader, deals with hecklers, deals with people who don't necessarily go along with his agenda. He doesn't cry about it.
We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no. You guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion in the Super Bowl. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share.
Best, quickest, most effective ad lib by a president in the State of the Union address. In that live moment of negotiating with Republicans right there in front of everyone, Joe Biden saved Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare from Republican attacks for another year. There was no pledge last night from Donald Trump to not touch Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid because every Republican in the House of Representatives, except one, has already voted to, at minimum, dramatically cut Medicaid by $880 billion. They voted for that in a budget resolution that is a promise to vote for exactly those cuts in what they call a budget reconciliation bill when that bill comes through the House. It is impossible to achieve the trillions of dollars in budget cutting that Elon Musk is promising, that Donald Trump is promising, that the Republicans in the House and Senate are promising, without the biggest cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid in history. For Social Security, that means cutting the amounts of money you will receive from Social Security.
I'm not playing that. That is a line of attack that we can absolutely hit Republicans on, because I think that's where That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where we all kind of, should be in agreement. Republicans, Democrats, independents, non-affiliated, anyone who has been paying out of their paycheck since they were 18 or of working age, everyone who has contributed. I don't want my shit cut by some 18, 19, 20-year-old internet somebody who nobody knows who this person is. Nobody's vetted this person. No. Absolutely not. So the signs thing, it would have worked if the people filming it spent more time, showing these signs in the audience, but they weren't. I was watching MSNBC. MSNBC is the most liberal channel you could have been watching this show on. And MSNBC, they once every 10 minutes, they might have showed somebody with, that wasn't enough. So those folks in the audience with those signs sitting there quietly, like it was some kind of fucking silent auction, that's not getting it done. They needed to be loud with Representative Al Green and make some noise. And they should have gotten up and left with him. If they didn't leave with him at the point where he was kicked out, and they should have definitely left when he called them all radical left-wing nut jobs or whatever. And definitely when they called Senator Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. Come on, guys. Get on the same page. You're not going to defeat Donald Trump like this. Everybody worrying about their primary opponent or whatever. Come together like this and fucking fight. Alyssa Slotkin delivered the response to Trump's speech. It was great. She's a very effective communicator. And some people were saying, she didn't, I guess, I don't know. They wanted her to drop some F-bombs or something. That's not it. That is not it. She was polished and she was practiced and she got her message across and it was very effective. She didn't become a meme like Marco Rubio reaching across to another room for a bottle of water. Or whatever the hell that was that Katie Britt was doing. She most certainly did not debase herself like that. No, she came across effectively and professionally like a senator who needs to be taken seriously. So I really like that. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Alyssa Slotkin. I think she's from Michigan. Very strong performance from her. But the answer is definitely in these town halls. They should. I saw something where Republicans are trying to say that George Soros funded Democratic activists are filling up all the seats. That's bullshit. That is 100% bullshit. Look at how full this room is. There's no way. There's no way. They've been accusing us of George. I have not one time seen a George Soros paycheck. Not one time. Where's my George Soros check? That's what I'd like to know. Never seen one. There's no George Soros funded. It's just a bunch of pissed off citizens, Democrats and Republicans, who are getting fired, getting laid off, who want to know what's the rush? Why this slapdash approach to this shit, this stuff that's very important. So I say, if Republicans are not going to show up, fine. Have the town hall without them. Have a chair. Put a chair up there. Put the picture of the representative who's supposed to be there, who's not. Tape a picture of that asshole to an empty chair and go off. The optics of that will be phenomenal. This is what we need right now. We don't have power to change vote outcomes. We don't have that. We don't have any, winning margin in either house, in the Senate or in the House. We don't have that. We don't have the numbers. So we have to fucking resist. We have to oppose. We have to defy all of that shit. Democrats have to be united as one. That is the only way you beat a bully. The only way you beat a bully is not splintered. It's not separate. We all come together as one. And if that happens, you can even beat somebody like the Kingpin. Folks, thank you for joining me for another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, a.k.a. Brooklyn Dad. I have some important information for you because next week, I will not be here next week. I'm sorry to say I will not be here, but Brooklyn Dad is going to be taking some very necessary, very important time off for mental health, and going to be spending some time with the fam next week. So we recharging the battery because this is going to be a long year, I feel. And oh, look at that. Sandra from Paramount, California says ABC is being forced to run ads praising Trump. That's disgusting. Disgusting. Yeah, I will not be here next week. Going to get away with wifey and the kids, and just recharge the battery, come back refreshed and renewed and invigorated and ready to go the distance with this. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Storytime with BDD. I look forward to seeing you all here when I get back. Same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.